When I moved to Washington State, I realized I made a huge mistake. I made the best out of it, but I realized real quick I made a huge mistake. I was only there for a month, and I'm like, dang, I made a big mistake. First off, I got my kids into school, and I'll post a picture in the thumbnail. This is the actual picture I took at the school, at their middle school. And that just showed me right then and there I screwed up. I moved out there for emotional reasons because I wanted to get away from somebody that I really cared about. And I thought, well, I'll be around family too. I thought that'd be cool too. But, so I was there. I was living with my dad for about 8 months, about 7 months. I didn't feel comfortable stretching my legs out. It was really difficult time for all of us. Felt like I had to walk on eggshells. It was difficult for my dad and his wife and the child that he was raising. Probably not so much him, but it was a difficult situation for everybody. And I'm really thankful that they helped me out. I mean, my dad really pushed forward for me to go there, so I did that. So eventually I moved out, and I went to a city south. I went to the city south of where he was at, probably about 30 minutes away, maybe 40 minutes, depending on traffic. And the town was like, it was right by Tacoma. It was a town called Puyallup, and I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment with my 2 teenage kids, and I shared a 2-bedroom apartment with them for 2 years. Now, when I moved out there, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a job lined up. I figured I'd be able to find a job very quickly because they have a lot of jobs available there. Not saying they're high-paying jobs, being able to survive very easy with kids. But a lot of people out there, they have roommates or they live with their parents because a lot of the jobs don't pay that well for their economy, for the high prices. So I finally got comfortable. I mean, I got a job real quick, probably like about a month of being there, and I could have had one sooner. But I turned it down. It was like security of a apartment complex, and I just didn't really feel comfortable doing that. So I turned that job down. And then, so I had a couple of different jobs I went through, and like I said, I moved out of my dad's house about 8 months into it. And then I found this one good job, and I did. At first, it was kind of like, I didn't really like the job. I switched apartments, and then I was doing really bad when I switched into the shipping department. I started talking to a supervisor of a different department, and I really liked her. She liked me, I thought, but I think she found somebody better, and that really devastated me. But at that same time, it was really weird because I hated having to see her every day, but I was doing really, really good. Like, I was almost getting fired. I almost got fired from that job because adjusting to their safety standards, and like, even if you damage a little bit of a box, that doesn't matter. They'll still get you on a report. And now, and if you have enough of them, they'll start racking stuff up. Now, I had a big accident. What caused probably like $600 worth of damage. Did something really stupid, but no one was hurt. That almost got me fired. They got me suspended. Anyway, I came back and I did really good. Like, I started killing it and gaining raises really, really fast. And I was making the department better. I came into the department basically they were so short-handed. It was pretty much, they just threw me out in the deep end, and that's why it really was really hard for me to adjust. But I eventually adjusted, did really, really well. And then we had the pandemic. I was freaked out like everybody else. I was watching those videos from China. And then they start coming out with the stimulus and stuff like that. And then that's when I thought to myself, because I thought, like, the way that they were locking down, like, you weren't even able to leave the state. You know, they cut down. So I was like, man, they're locking down hard. I don't like this area. I don't like the situation I'm in at work. I like the situation. I just didn't like the having to see that woman every day. That really bothered me, like, really bad. But I kept it up. I kept going through, and I used part of that stimulus to help me fucking move. I used part of it to buy some silver. I didn't sit here and waste it on bullshit. I didn't waste it on Uber Eats or fucking TVs or just a bunch of dumb bullshit. And I still worked, man. I wasn't one of these people that was paid to stay home and I didn't pay rent. I paid rent. I paid all my bills. I did everything I was supposed to do. I seen the way the state was going. I didn't like the way they were going with the gun laws. And I wasn't diving too deep into it. I just knew that they were very anti-gun. So I didn't know exactly, but, you know, my family, they're very pro-gun, and they have problems with the laws they're coming out with. I mean, I like that. I didn't go to Seattle, not even one time for leisure. I might have drove through it to go up north, but I never hung out there. I never wanted to. I never wanted to hang out in Tacoma. Wherever I went, I basically just went hiking. I did that. I just went home. I went to the gym, went to work. I went on some dates and stuff like that. I actually dated a lot there. I did really well actually dating. So I seen that this, like, after a month of being in Washington State, I knew I didn't want to stay there. I knew it, like, right then and there. So it took me time to build myself up so I could leave. Now, when I left, I had my mom's help, okay? So I did some research, and I seen that there's a place in the city that I was going to move and where she was at, where it looks like they hire people really quick, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm about to come out there and get a job real quick. Well, it's really hard to move somewhere when you don't have a job lined up, and the place, you know, it's usually apartments, but usually apartments, they want you to have a job. It's proof of income coming, and I understand that, but my mom fronted like a good portion of she fronted the rent, first month's rent for me, and then so I can get the place, right? So I had somewhere to go as soon as I got here. I didn't want to live it there. I just don't. Yeah. Anyway, so, like, it would have been a really difficult situation. So as soon as I got here, I paid her back the money right away. And then I got a job like 2 days after being here. So, like, the moral of the story is, like, it's really hard to move somewhere. But if you don't like it, then you can move. You can get out. It's just, like, there's people in Washington State that are worried about if their kids want to, if the school's indoctrinating their kids to become trans, and then they don't approve the surgery, and then the state just comes and pretty much kidnaps the kid. Like, I would be getting the hell out of that state, man. I would be getting the hell out of that state. It takes a lot to move, man. It takes a lot, and it's not all gonna work out. Like when I was moving, and I had everything situated, and I got the U-Haul and everything, and my dad helped me out in this big time. He helped me out. I bought the U-Haul, got it all set, and then it was only 2-seater, and I'm like, oh shit. So I asked my dad if he could fly one of my kids out, and I mean, I was gonna pay for it, but he paid for it, so I'm like really grateful he did that. It's really cool. But there's situations that pop up that you have to, it was pretty much like as soon as I quit my job, I put my 2 weeks notice in. The next day I was moving. Like I was getting the hell out of there. Like I planned it all up because it seemed like the restrictions are starting to let up, and I felt comfortable that I can leave, so I did. If you have to work a few jobs, you got to work a few jobs to get out. I wouldn't be in these states. If you're a regular person and you're not like right wing or left wing or whatever, you just don't want your kids being taught a bunch of crap, or the government trying to come take your kids because you don't want them to get gender surgery. Go to a different state, man. Go to a red state, and don't vote blue though, man. Keep that blue shit out. Why would you move to a new state that is for freedom, and then you're gonna go ahead and vote the same crap in that new place? That just is dumb as hell. If you're fine with those policies you voted in, then stay there. But maybe you didn't vote for any of those policies. Maybe you don't vote. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of strategizing. It's not like we live in the 1970s anymore. You have access to different employers on the internet, and it's not easy. I mean, we could do Zoom calls, and some of these places like they still require you to like be there in person. They want to see you and all that, but so you might have to go out there, and if you know people that can help you out, that is huge to get out of somewhere. And I think that there should be like help to try to get people out of these states. Somebody should set up some type of organization where you could help people find housing easy and jobs easy that are trying to basically migrate out of these hellholes that are unsustainable. But that's basically my story from Washington State. It's really unfortunate because aside from like the crazy politics and like the way things are going, I wouldn't mind staying there. Like I was not happy with the trashiness. There was so much litter. When you drive through Seattle, you look on the side of the freeway and you see like homeless people or just like trash. And even in like my little town, and it was Puyallup, there was like trash and homeless people along the river. If that wasn't the case, I mean, I like the climate. I like the rain. I like the cloudiness. There was heavy people, but not as many. If people were just like normal people, like, like the 90s or 2000s, or, not crazy radicals, like, that's cool, man. I would have stayed there. And honestly, like, if it wasn't crazy, I'd go back. But it's absolutely crazy. So I don't see any point for me to ever go back, even to visit. I'm not saying I'm ruling that out, but, and then I'm trying to move somewhere. where I don't know, man. If you're gonna try to move somewhere, I'd say like try to move to like Georgia or Wisconsin or Michigan or Pennsylvania. Was it Nevada, Arizona, and vote red. Vote red. If you care about the future of the country and you don't, then you want the conservatives in office right now, because they're the only thing that's holding us back from complete collapse, complete communism and authoritarianism. That's it. Complete eradication of our Constitution. So that's why I vote for them. I'm an independent voter. I support MAGA. To me, they're the most punk rock thing going on. There's so much hate of the movement, of the people, that it makes me want to embrace them. You know, that there's so much hate on Trump, it makes me want to embrace him. So yeah, I'd suggest getting out of these places. Just don't vote blue, man, wherever you go. New York's a piece of shit. California's a piece of shit. I don't even care if I ever go to visit these places, man. Like, seriously. And I want to. I like to visit places. Like, I wanted to see the walk down in New York and look at like the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty, you know, Times Square. That's cool. Maybe go to a Yankees game. I would like to go to a Wrigley Field or Soldier Field and check that shit out, or Washington, D.C. and check out the monuments there. Like, that stuff would have been cool to me. And even go back to California and visit. Like, but I don't see any point for me to ever go to these places, especially if I could just like simulate the experience in some type of digital realm. But yeah, it's if you care about your kids, you want to get them out of these public schools, especially in these blue states. My kid yesterday just told me that he was a victim of racism. Like, he was called a cracker in Washington State. So like, you can see that there's reverse racism that's going on, that's being taught by the mainstream media, is being pushed, and definitely parents, you know. It's really easy for people to become racist nowadays, and I really try to help my kids realize, like, it's not a good idea to be racist at all, because it's just, you can't, just because somebody's white doesn't mean I agree with them. Like, I hate a lot of white people. There's a lot of white fucking leftist communists. I hate these people. So it's not about race. It's about culture. It's about morals, and it's about values, and accepting people with the same. It doesn't matter what race they are. It really doesn't. Is they're like a good person that's doing the right thing, it doesn't fucking matter. There's so many pieces of shit that are white people out here. So just to be like, oh, I only like white people, it's just so fucking ignorant, man. I don't even care. I don't care about I don't care about being a minority. As long as I'm treated with respect and not hated because of the color of my skin, I don't care. I don't care if white people go away, if black people go away, and we just end up in the future is just one race, you know, like all mixed one race. Like, cool, man. Like, we all bleed the same, you know, we have the same organs, you know. We just have a little bit of different skin color, and like, we're pretty much all the same. So, you know, but anyway, that's it.